Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm ElliJare, and on behalf of Jay Tilly, welcome again to the No Shave Man Cave. I tell you, I have had a pretty hectic, I'd say, month or so with work and life and everything going on. And then you've got this chaotic wrestling world going on. And man, I like, wow. So we had this fantastic Money in the Bank. We had an average go home show for Friday night SmackDown. You have Collision getting ready to cook off right now, and I'm sure it's going to be a banger because the first episode was the Heat, and this past Saturday was sort of anticlimactic. I don't know if they didn't want to shoot all their rounds down range, before the pay-per-view on Sunday. But the initial episode of Collision definitely brought the heat. The crowd was really into it. I was really shocked with CM Punk and the match and the way everything went, and the crowd seemed like they were really into it. And then the last couple of crowds have really been sort of given CM Punk the welcome back, screw you, welcome back, screw you. One of the talking heads was saying that it was sort of a John Cena kind of a thing, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. And I don't know if that's necessarily it, but it's pretty damn close because CM Punk was gone for 7 years. He would, sort of pop up, show his personality, disappear, showed up on Fox, wasn't a WWE employee, but he was doing Fox, Fox commentating wrestling. So you're going to feel a certain kind of way about that, because he's sitting there, he's on your screen, he's filling your airwaves. You're like, okay, whatever. But he's there. You got to deal with it. And he moved on in the Owen Hart Cup, so good for him. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Owen Hart Cup, and hopefully it's a little more meaningful, if that's the right word. You had Britt Baker win, and Adam Cole baby won, and unfortunately due to his injury at Forbidden Door 2, or I'm sorry, Forbidden Door 1, which was awesome to see him at Forbidden Door 2, considering the road that he had to go through for that, for the head injury. So kudos to him and his entire team and everybody who supported him getting back. But I tell you, the Forbidden Door 2, excellent pay-per-view. I would have given it 5 beards had the match with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, and you would have had the interference and the continuous returning of Will Ospreay's now handler, the secret hand, where he it just I mean it he was kicked out of the ring area. Match was going on, and next thing you know, he's right back ringside. So it's really, really frustrating because they had kicked out Ruby Riott and Saraya from ringside the match previous. So you have the gimmick twice, but you don't pay it off both times. So it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? So that was that. I'll let that go. You had a fantastic series of matches where it seemed pretty even, politically, because you've got to have a certain number of wins for AEW, and you have to have a certain number of wins for New Japan. So, okay, cool. 50-50, no problem. And it's not really like 50-50 booking where you're going to have someone win today and they're going to lose tomorrow. Not at all. Not at all what I'm talking about. It's two wrestling organizations who have tickets to sell, have a fan base that they need to be strong for, and they can't take a series of L's. So just like when AEW and Impact Wrestling first started their relationship, it was straight one-sided. It was so one-sided. It it wasn't even fair. You had Kenny Omega carrying around every single title, and they were totally disrespecting the Impact Championship. And fortunately, that relationship, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I enjoy Impact Wrestling, but I enjoy it, the fact that they're not in cahoots with AEW anymore, because it just that I feel like that relationship kind of ran its course, and it was whatever. So so there's that. But I think what we've seen over the last couple of months, professional wrestling is really, really in a strong place. And you have tons of mediums to be able to get your fix on professional wrestling. If you're a MLW fan, they now have a TV deal that's starting to come into play. If you like some of the old wrestling, you can get your Lucha Underground. You got to find it on like YouTube, or you'd have to buy it on demand or Netflix. If you're a AWA fan, or some of those other ones, again, you're going to stream that from someone else's library. If you like the Warrior Wrestling out of Chicago, you can get that on Fight. You can get all of the other pay-per-views on Fight. You've got the premium live events on Peacock, so you can get just about anything you want. And of course, you've got New Japan, which you can get on their app, and then just cast it. I cast it for my phone, and catch all the pay-per-views and everything. So it's a very, very entertaining version of professional wrestling, where there's high-flying technical wrestling, and they just know how to get their, what's the right word? They know how to get their stuff in, I guess, is sort of the right word. But man, it's just so awesome. So we just came off the heels of Money in the Bank, and I'm a big LA Knight fan. Yeah. And I felt a certain kind of way about this, going in thinking, okay, this is where he's going to launch from. This is going to be his platform. This is where LA Knight, yeah, is going to really put himself on the map. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now, did he have a terrible showing? Did he get hurt? Was the match a shit show? No, absolutely not. They felt a certain kind of way about, and I keep saying certain kind of way, I'm not going to say it anymore. That was the last time. They wanted to reward Damian Priest for all the hard work that he's been putting in. And I tell you, when that pay-per-view in Puerto Rico with Bad Bunny, phenomenal match. All of the work, all the character work, everything he's been doing with Judgment Day, off the hook. Next level. Selling, registering, getting better week over week over week. Just fantastic. And kudos to him. You know, he gets the win. I am mildly very disappointed. Not quite as disappointed after WrestleMania when Cody didn't win the world title, but that's for a different episode. And after I talked to my counselor again, and I was, whew, I wanted to, I wasn't gonna walk away from professional wrestling because that's crazy. You know, it's so much fun, and I had just had that title made for our show, so you know, you gotta at least let it breathe a little bit. So, fortunately for Damian Priest, he gets the win. Big, huge boost for him. Really will elevate him. You have the Judgment Day with the shittiest heel who got the L tonight on Money in the Bank. Kudos to Cody. I got my little Cody shirt on. Kudos to and it was a good match. I mean, it got the job done. I was expecting Brock Lesnar to interfere and further the story for SummerSlam. So we'll see. We'll see how they reaffirm, you know, that part of the show. But I think Ricochet just another level of showmanship, sort of like when Kofi Kingston is in a battle royal. You know, he's going to get thrown out of the ring, he's going to land on someone, he's going to try and use a chair to hop over to the next level. And Ricochet flying through the opening in the ladder. Phenomenal. So we get the show opens, great intro, crowd was hot, everybody was into it. Almost 19,000 fans right there in the O2 Arena. And it was back-to-back nights of being sold out because SmackDown was there too, and they were sold out. So it was a really, really good crowd, very energetic, and they showed up. They showed up because they knew the boys and girls were going to show out. They had been there in several years, and it it was freaking awesome. It was a lot of fun. Kudos to Damian Priest. They opened up the match card with the men's ladder match. Great hot start, a lot of action. There weren't any like dull moments or wonky. And fortunately, no one got hurt because you have human bodies, normal flesh against metal ladders that you don't know what's going to happen when the boys and girls are going to hit it. So good stuff. We get a win. Damian Priest is your new Money in the Bank, and we'll see what he does with it because a little bit later he shows up with the case. A little bit of a distraction. We'll get into that in a little bit. So, and we had new undisputed women's tag team champions when Shayna Baszler, one of my favorite wrestlers, superstars, turns on Ronda Rousey, and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez get the dub, and they win their tag team championships back. Now, I'm not sure if this was the right time, but it's the time we got, right? So now we get to elevate Shayna Baszler, which should have been done years ago. She was one of the most dominant NXT women's champions of all time, and you just sort of had her toiling on the main roster. I don't have the pencil, but I tell you what, if I did, she would have been a multi-time world champion and a more credible threat, maybe, if that's the right word. You know, you have Shayna Baszler, mixed martial artist, badass, the submission magician, and then you have the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. Arguably, you could have been selling or advertising Shayna Baszler as something very very much the same. But we're here. This is what we're dealing with. Inshallah, right? We're just going to leave it up and, see what's good. So they get the turn, they drop the titles. So now we're in a new program. It'll be Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's going to try and become a face. I don't know how the crowd is going to accept that or who she's going to bond with, or maybe, is this a work? Who knows? But, so she's going to become a face. Now we roll into one of the most dominant championship reigns. Let's see what I did there, Reigns. Right behind Roman Reigns, and that's the Intercontinental Champion Gunther going against Matt Riddle. Now, Matt Riddle comes into the match a little nicked up, selling that ankle, and great match, a lot of ups and downs, some credible selling. Sort of got away from the fact that he was injured when he did his his version of the Swanton, but it's WWE and they want you to know what they want you to know and they want you to forget what they want you to forget. So we get Gunther for the win, and out comes the big guy, Drew McIntyre. And he nails the freaking Claymore. Now, I thought that what was going to happen is Drew McIntyre was going to come out and hug Gunther. Now, that sounds crazy, but I thought McIntyre was going to come out as a bad guy. And he would just be a phenomenal bad guy. Big, credible threat, just a freaking monster, but makes some sense. They'll go into their program. Gunther will drop the title to McIntyre. McIntyre will continue to elevate the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther will go on into a program with Seth Rollins until Cody comes full circle with his hot time, baby. And then he'll get into a program with either Seth Rollins or somehow they'll open the door for him to end up going against Roman Reigns to finish the story. So there's two different avenues for Cody Rhodes to get his world championship. Now, he never said he wanted to be the WWE undisputed champion. He said he wanted to hold the title that his father never did, and that was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That's the title that Seth freaking Rollins holds, and he defended that successfully tonight. And he's been grinding. He's been working. He's been doing a lot of really cool stuff. He was even on NXT, and that episode of NXT with him against Bron Breakker was one of the top viewed shows in NXT. So he's definitely making shit happen, and good on him. Now we roll into Cody Rhodes, my guy, against the shittiest heel in professional wrestling, and he comes out with Mommy. And I tell you, why Mommy didn't have a match is totally beyond me, because I think the champions, and especially someone who's as credible as her, who is just killing it as a world champion, I would have loved to see her defend the title, but that wasn't the decision. And, I don't have the pencil, so that's for another day. But she looked fantastic. She did her part. She distracted, caused issues for the American Nightmare, and he gets the win, right? And that's all you really want for your guy. Now, if it would have made sense for him to lose, the only way it would have made sense for him to lose this match is if Brock Lesnar was involved, but he didn't show. He'll probably be there on Monday. Cody will get F5 57 times, and they'll sort of rekindle the situation, and there's going to be hell to pay because that's what's going to happen. Then we get a huge surprise. We get I don't know why my voice just went so high. We get this huge surprise. John Cena comes out, hustle, loyalty, and respect. And, he's out there. He gets into it a little fisticuffs. And what's interesting is Grayson Waller is dealing with a broken leg. So the fact that he got into it with John Cena is, I don't know if interesting is the right word, but it's definitely interesting booking because you want to protect someone like Grayson Waller because he can sell some tickets. He's very entertaining and he has a bright future. He's got a cool skill set. He's got a great character, decent body of work. Didn't hold any titles down in NXT, but definitely was I think he was ready to come up to the show. Then we get a freaking phenomenal women's Money in the Bank match. Miss Money in the Bank because they're not married to Mr. Anyway, so you get Ms. Money in the Bank. Io Sky has a fantastic moonsault, and I really like Tiffany Stratton out from NXT. I like her moonsault too, but this moonsault off of the ladder onto the entire freaking match card was so beautiful that I can't argue. We put out a poll and it was 80% said Io Sky had the greatest moonsault in professional wrestling. So noted. Great job to Io Sky coming out the winner. Even handcuffed the man and formerly known as the Hugger Bailey. So I think that's going to be pretty entertaining. Is that the end of Damage Control, or is it just the beginning, or is it like a new little twist, a little bit of character work that they're going to be able to put on? I hope it's the beginning of some solid character work because I think that can seriously put some asses in seats with Io Sky chasing for that world title. Now, are you going to have her go against Asuka? Are you going to have her go against Charlotte? Are you going to have her go against Bianca? Are you going to have her go against Rhea? I mean, there's so many different options. I think Charlotte should get into a program to elevate some of the younger talent, get away from the title for a little while, and we figure out some character work for the other superstars to elevate the entire roster because you don't have any really great stories right now, and this would be a great way to do it. But again, like I said, I don't have the pencil. I'm just here to watch. I'm here to talk some smack and see what we can come up with to make wrestling a little more enjoyable every single time we sit down and watch it. Because I tell you, I watch Forbidden Door 2 and then I go back and I watch some of the matches. And if you sit down and you watch the Okada Danielson match just by itself, don't watch any of the other card because you'll be so blown up and exhausted by the time you get to that because the Will Ospreay Omega match, you'll have a completely different appreciation for it. Just like the artistry in the ring, the registering, the skill sets of both wrestlers, both of them just in tip-top physical condition, and the false finishes. And then for Danielson to get a tap, man, I was not ready for that. I didn't know what to do with that. When I saw it, I thought there was a mistake. Like someone got injured and they had to send it home. But Danielson was injured but it wasn't, they weren't sending it home. That was the finish they wanted, and that's the finish they got. So kudos to Danielson. He'll be out 8 to 10 weeks, I guess, and he'll be back. And I can't wait to see what we do with Danielson and his character work with the BCC because they're tearing it up. This is just ridiculous. So we're getting ready to roll into collision in about 15 minutes, and I can only freaking imagine what this card is going to look like. They're still on their Canadian tour, and the crowd in Canada has been doing some good work. And the boys and girls in the back have been freaking phenomenal. And over in AEW, you've got Chris Statlander as your TBS champion. You have Tony Storm as your women's champion. You have Luchasaurus / Christian Cage or Christian as your um, TNT champion, and just it's crazy to see all of that, and then you have the turning of Jungle Jack, so some of that character work is really going to play out, and then MJF is your world champion. So there's a lot to talk about over there in AEW. A lot of really good stuff, and with Collision coming online, the personality of that show is going to be a lot of fun. Please don't be so myopic. Oh, I'm a WWE guy. I don't have time for that. Oh, I don't like that kind of stuff. Dudettes, listen, come talk to me. Watch it. It's freaking awesome. I wasn't an AEW guy until JT was like, "Hey, let's go over to Daly's place," and there was like freaking 100 of us, and we were sitting there watching, and their fellow wrestlers were right there ringside. There was literally in an area where we went to one of the pay-per-views. There was like 9,000 people, and we went, and if there were 500 people in Daly's place, I'm exaggerating because it was like every 5 seats was wide open, and then behind you and in front of you, I mean, you had 5 seats in every direction. So I mean, they were doing things during COVID that really really sold me on the product, and my WWE brain is always on, but I totally appreciate what AEW is doing. So sit back, relax, enjoy it, and take it all in, man. Jericho's over there doing some hilarious stuff, really elevating a lot of the other talent. You've got Daniel Garcia, who's the only sports entertainer on the roster. He loses every time because of his silly sports entertaining. So I'm there for it. I'm gonna keep watching it because I think it's pretty funny. So we're gonna go ahead and hop back to Money in the Bank because we've got Seth freaking Rollins against Finn Balor, and this was a match 7 years in the making when Finn Balor and Seth freaking Rollins went head to head for the Universal Championship, and Finn Balor ended up coming out the victor. He held the title for 22 hours and then had to relinquish the championship because of injuries. And they had a great match. It was really moving along very, very nicely until out comes Damian Priest. So that's a little wrinkle in the Judgment Day. So we'll see what happens with that. And it was pretty it was pretty entertaining. So you had the Civil War went on, and it was a match like it was a match. I tell you, it was up and down and in and around and all over the place. And for the first time in over 3 years, Roman Reigns' shoulders were officially on the mat for 3 seconds. Kudos to the Usos for coming out the victor. I have no freaking idea what that's going to mean going forward, but I'm here for it. Just like all other professional wrestling, I am here for it. hook, line, and sinker. You got me. Keep coming back with great storylines. Keep coming back right here in the No Shave Man Cave for great wrestling talk when JT and I can be on the same webination. We'll figure it out. But until next time, friends, fam, thanks for checking me out. I'm ElliJare. On behalf of JT, I got to tell you, thank you so much for joining us here. To all of our brothers and sisters in arms, thank you for what you do. We are so proud of you for what you do for this great country. Some gave all, and all gave some. So until next time, my friends, my fam, all of you out there listening, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.